Welcome back to the Ripeness Report, the podcast where we dig into the freshest and, sometimes not so fresh takes on the latest films. I'm Tom.
And I'm Poppi. We're absolutely thrilled to have you join us today because we're diving headfirst into the prehistoric world. Once again, we're talking about Jurassic World Rebirth.
Indeed, Poppi. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of what people are saying, let's just do a quick, very brief overview of the film's premise. You see, the story picks up 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion. Our planet is proving quite inhospitable to dinosaurs, certainly.
That's right. So the few dinosaurs that are left, they're kind of isolated in these very specific equatorial environments, places with climates that really resemble where they thrived way back when. And here's the kicker, folks. The 3 most colossal creatures in these tropical biospheres actually hold the secret.
A secret to what, you might ask? Well, it's for a drug. A miraculous, life-saving drug that promises significant benefits to humankind. A big premise, no doubt.
It absolutely is. Let's jump right into what audiences thought of Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, over on Rotten Tomatoes, the general vibe is pretty positive, which is, always good to see. Viewers are calling it one of the most entertaining films of the summer, earning it a 72% rating.
I'm a bit surprised to hear that, Poppi.
Honestly, I was too, Tom. People are really praising it as a roaring good time, and they're even pointing out surprising moments of levity. Fans are specifically highlighting those incredible dinosaur action sequences and the film's consistent ability to deliver excitement. They're saying things like, it never gets boring because there is a constant stimuli to prevent that from happening.
That's a strong point in its favor, keeping the energy up.
For sure. That said, it's not all perfect. Some audience members did mention a sense of predictability and, a certain routine to it. While they found the film fun, the consensus is that it doesn't really break new ground for the franchise. It's enjoyable, but maybe not revolutionary.
And that brings us neatly to the critics, doesn't it? Because over on Rotten Tomatoes, the assessment for Jurassic World Rebirth is, shall we say, a bit more mixed. While audiences seem to lean positive, the critics, they're a little more discerning at a 51% rating.
That's quite a dip from the audience reviews.
Definitely. But it's not all bad. They do acknowledge some serious strengths, mind you. Many are calling out the best dinosaur set pieces the rebooted World Series has ever delivered. That's a big statement for fans of the franchise. And director Gareth Edwards, he's getting a lot of credit for elevating what could have easily been a quote-unquote rote experience into what many describe as a solid thrill ride.
So it sounds like there are definite high points.
There certainly are. But, and it's a significant but, despite these strengths, critics are frequently pointing out some substantial flaws. For instance, there's the presence of what they're calling some of the most annoying characters and plotting in any Jurassic installment to date. That's a harsh critique. And a reliance on fossilized cliches is also noted, along with a distinct lack of genuine suspense.
Ooh, a Jurassic World movie without suspense? That's a problem, wouldn't you say? That was a calling card of the originals.
It is a problem, Poppi, especially when the T-Rex, a cornerstone of the series, is perceived more as, quote, fan service than, quote, a horrifying lesson in the dangerous consequences of genetic engineering. Overall, you see, critics tend to view the film as entertaining, yes, but ultimately formulaic. They often describe it as a, quote, goofy B-movie extravaganza that, crucially, lacks the anxiety and innovation that really defined those earlier franchise entries.
So, a fun ride for the audience, perhaps, but for the critics, a bit of a missed opportunity to truly innovate. That's a pretty clear split in opinions, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It seems like Rebirth delivers on the spectacle, but perhaps not on the depth or narrative ingenuity that some were hoping for. A solid B-movie, as the critics suggest, but maybe not the next groundbreaking Jurassic experience.
Well, that about wraps up our take on Jurassic World Rebirth for this episode of the Right Miss Report. Thanks, Tom, as always, for the great discussion.
Right back at you, Poppi. And thanks to our listeners, as always, for tuning in. Remember to keep it ripe, keep it real, and we'll see you on the next one.